Hello, this is my review of the original Season 3, Episode 9, titled The Savior. It kind of starts out with Rebecca's dialogue saying how she can feel everything from the dagger, meaning that this dagger is different from the one that Klaus usually strikes her with. She could feel everything, every blood that was leaving her body, every agony of it. But she's not really there long because Elijah pays these men to fish her casket out of the ocean. They wanted to cheat him of basically his money by holding the casket and having it ransom for more money. But then Elijah just, nah, that's enough, guys. He just pretty much kills all of them. I guess he decided to not go for the noble, good vampire anymore. He's still a cool character, though. Then Rebecca makes that funny comment, "Oh, tell me that I didn't miss Christmas," meaning that, symbolizing that it is Christmas time. And then you see Klaus and Cammy there, at Klaus's normal house with Christmas decorations everywhere, saying, and then one of Klaus's compulsion people come in and Cammy asks, "You do pay them, right?" And she's just like, and Klaus comes in saying, "Oh yeah, we pay them heavily, and I just compel them to do what I say." What was interesting about this conversation was Cammy asked Klaus, "Why didn't you go with Elijah to rescue Rebecca?" And he says, "Oh, well, I don't think it's a good idea for us to be together since this prophecy says one by family will fall." And then Cammy gives this worried look saying, "You don't think he's going to hurt you, will you?" And he's like, yeah. But in my opinion, I think that Elijah has every right to want to take down Klaus, but I don't think he'll do it. Just because his whole identity has been built on his loyalty to his family. But let's see, Klaus also backs up. After that, Cammy gets a text from Vincent, and then she leaves immediately. The scene ends right there. It's like somebody just edited their whole conversation afterwards and just went to the next scene. And then there's basically like 3 plot lines in this episode. There's the one with Cammy and Klaus who goes to save the detective. There's the one with Rebecca and Freya, who are, Rebecca's cursed and Freya is poisoned. And then there's Marcel. The third one is Marcel and the Tricks. Now, the problem with Marcel is the Tricks want to hire a new leader for the coven, and of course Marcel wants the Tricks think is on his side. So basically it's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Put a leader that's on our side, but how is that going to work? Because nobody wants to be the leader, because one was killed and one was shunned. Nobody's going to want to be their leader. But the Tristan, the leader of the Tricks, basically just puts in an idea saying, "Oh, we got somebody. The guy named Van. It's the kid that Davina had his mother killed. He is basically going to put money to his account and basically just pay him in order to do what they say. Just, I don't know what the word that is. Bribe him, I guess." That part was interesting. The reason why all that happened is just because later on in the episode, Marcel is going to go to Vincent and just taunt him into wanting to come to Coven again. He's like, "You're gonna make all these children do your work for you?" And then Vincent gets ticked off, uses magic, and then just says, "Oh, I'm gonna take back the Coven, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna pay you back for all what you vampires done to this city." And I don't really understand that part because Vincent was just so against being the witch's leader. So I don't really get how he went from just this lazy bum to this, oh, I'm going to step up now. I guess because the whole thing happened with Davina. Maybe. I don't know. Alright, let's see. What else happened? I'm sorry, let me go down. I have notes right here. See Cammy and Vincent walking down the sidewalk. Oh yeah, before then, Vincent asked Cammy to help the detective, because the detective he's lost his job, he's having blackouts, he just was having a hard time with the police because of all the missing evidence, because of all the supernatural things that goes wrong with the vampires. So he was basically in the fire. So Cammy goes to the detective's house and knocks on the door, but Klaus appears right behind her saying, oh, I thought you weren't supposed to, I thought it was rude to knock on somebody's door without their permission. She says, well, what do you want? And she says, I'm just here as your friend. He's like, oh, okay. And then Klaus uses his super hearing to hear how the detective had a gun with his heavy breathing, and he just knocks the door down. And it's kind of a little out of his character for him to be that ticked off and that concerned. I guess it was because of Cammy, but Cammy runs in. Detective threatens Cammy with the gun, and Klaus just screams, "Put the gun down!" with this really exaggerated anger voice. I actually kind of like that side of Klaus, seeing him anger just go roar and everything. But let's see what happened afterwards. He asked Klaus couldn't help him because he was locked out of the house. He can't come in the house without being invited. So he just ends with asking detective asking, "What can I do?" He says, "Invite me in." Now, basically, in order to the detective is basically suicidal because of what Lucien compelled him to basically saying, "You are worthless. There are dark things out there that you will never be able to overcome," which is kind of true, but I guess because the compulsion, these thoughts are going in his head over and over and over again until it's just driving him crazy. So in order to stop this compulsion, Klaus basically gives him kind of a motivational speech. I really did like this speech because I think it could help a lot of people who are feeling worthless out there. He basically said all right, you're not gonna give over the feeling of worthlessness, but you can learn to live with it like he did, with all his shame and killing people over the years. And then he basically says, what you don't think matters does matter to everybody else. What you don't see in yourself, everybody else can see. You do matter. It's kind of like you're basically harder on yourself than you really should be, just like normal humans are. Now, the next scene. Well, not the next scene. Okay, the next plot is Freya and Rebecca. Now, Freya gets stalked by the Tricks because they want to steal the medallion from her. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the scene of this episode because Freya gets attacked, and basically they attacked her just like how they did in the last episode. One vampire stands in front of her. She uses magic. Uses magic. The guy falls, gets headaches, falls down the ground, but then another one pops up right in front of her and just attacks her. I mean, I don't really know why they downpower Freya. I guess without Dahlia, she's just a normal witch. But I think I remember Bonnie from Vampire Diaries even doing better than this. Well, I guess I read some reviews online. They're just basically downsizing her character for the plot. I guess because they thought Freya was too OP or something. I don't know. She's still a cool character, but I just wish she had more power, more control. I like the idea of the originals having a witch instead of them just being screwed by one all the time. A witch that's an actual milestone that has that family bond with them. the only reason Freya gets saved because Jackson goes in and just completely knocks people's heads off with an axe. I don't really. I guess I can see how a werewolf could do that. I just those year-old vampires versus that one werewolf. I couldn't see how that's like logical to the story, but that was pretty cool to look at though. That's probably one of my favorite scenes of the whole episode. Now, the vampires stab Freya with poison while they were attacking her, and now she's basically useless. Jackson carries her to Klaus's house with Elijah bringing Rebecca, and now we see that both Rebecca and Freya are in like dire life-threatening situation. So, in order to heal Rebecca, Freya would have to conjure a magic dagger to peel the curse off her arm. And the only way Freya can get healed is for this antidote that Elijah calls Klaus, asking him for if he knows anything, and then Klaus basically says to Cammy, "I bet you Lucian has like an antidote. Since the Tricks have had this poison for 1,000 years, I pretty much guarantee it." And then first Cammy goes, "No, I think I should just stay here with the technique." He's like, "No, you need to stay with me. I need you. I can't be worried about you." I kind of like this how Cammy and Klaus were like a team in this episode. He's no longer keeping her like an arm's length. He wants her at his side, which is kind of like sad as what happened at the ending. It's sad. It makes it. Well, I'll talk about that towards the end. Let's see what else happened. Okay, Freya conjures up Finn in order to get advice on and have enough magic to beat the curse, basically. But Finn is just still ticked off about Finn is still basically just being sealed, and he hates the family. I hope once they bring back Finn, they'll go into more detail why they hate him. Why does Finn hate them so much? And then let's see what else happened. All right, so but basically Finn basically just says, "All right, I'll help you this one time, but just this once. Good luck." And then she's able to conjure up the magic, and then Haley comes in with the antidote because Klaus gave it to her, and then just stabs Freya. Now, when Rebecca's front, she's basically going insane because of this curse, and she and Haley have like a confrontation, saying, and Rebecca just pretty much bashes Haley with every bad thing about her, saying that, "Oh, I bet you love flaunting that husband in front of Elijah. I bet, and you only I'm sorry. You only come towards us for advice when it's best towards you." Like, she only comes to them when she needs something, and basically blames them every single time something goes wrong, which is understandable because Klaus freaking cursed her, and turned her to the werewolf for forever for all she knew. He didn't make no effort to get her out, so I can understand. Rebecca is basically telling everything bad about Haley. The worst parts of Haley. She left out the parts how she really loves Jackson, or how she pretended to leave the family just for the sake of her own child. She left all that parts out. She basically told everything to Haley, the worst parts of her. Let's see. Yeah. What else? Now, alright, so Rebecca pretty much in Haley fight, drags her to the floor, and Rebecca gets into Haley's heart, but Klaus comes in and says, and this is also another more favorite parts. He goes, not her, Rebecca," and then she looks at Cammy, and Klaus goes, "Not her either." it's just funny how he just casually made all those comments at this dire situation. So they basically hold her down, and Freya comes in and takes the knife out of her. Now, the that's basically it for the dramaticness of that whole episode. Overall, that whole action sequence was good to me just because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know, was Rebecca going to die? Was Freya going to die? Was Haley going to die for a second there? I didn't know what was going to happen. Well, I kind of knew Haley wasn't going to die, but Rebecca is the one I was really worried about because she could easily be killed off because she has been on the show a lot, and I bet I just thought the writers would look for a good way for her to leave the show. Everybody online says they think that she just be killed off because of how much she hasn't been on the show. But I think I really want Rebecca to stay on the show just because. If not, it's just Klaus and Elijah and Freya. But she's like kind of the new original. I want to see a show of the three, as many originals as I possibly can. Even though if Rebecca is just there for a short time, I kind of just want us to stay alive. Just because I don't really know what Klaus and Elijah's reactions would be if Rebecca was killed. Now, the sad part about this episode is one, Klaus and Cammy end up making out for the first time, like, and finally admitted their feelings for each other, but Cammy ends up being killed at the end. I don't really see how somebody snuck up on Klaus and killed Cammy in his sleep. I just always thought Klaus had this paranoid way of life where any movement somebody makes near him, he'll just jump up and go, "What are you doing?" Something like that. But now, and the other sad part was the curse that was on Rebecca was still on her, and she basically asked Elijah, "Okay, you need to dagger me because I don't know, I can't control myself. I might go after Hope." And Elijah's like, "No, I'm not. That there's another way." He says, "No, you need to hurry up and do this." And then Elijah was forced to dagger Rebecca. But and then the interesting thing, he says, "If you dagger me, the family part will be fulfilled by this year." And another thing she said was, she said by the year end, this prophecy will be fulfilled. I didn't know that the prophecy only meant for a year. I thought it was like forever, like you will all fall, one by friend, one by foe, one by family. So Elijah ends up having to dagger Rebecca, and then Cammy ends up being killed. Now, Rebecca wants Elijah. One of the main reasons Rebecca wanted Elijah's dagger because it will fulfill the family part of the prophecy. He'll be able to trust Klaus and Freya. Now, but she doesn't want to tell Klaus or anybody that she daggered her because she wants Klaus to be happy for this once. But I don't see how that will be beneficial to Klaus because he doesn't know that she's down. He still needs the family parts going on. He still can't trust Elijah or Freya. So I think Elijah's going to have to tell Klaus. I think Elijah should tell Klaus that, hey, I had to dagger Rebecca, and then they can all just take all their hanger out on Cammy and Rebecca out on the tricks. I don't really see why Klaus hasn't killed Lucian yet. I feel like it's one of those things like he's waiting too long to take these guys out. They're basically been sneaking around a lot too much, and he's going to end up having his family members killed because everything in this prophecy has come true so far. Now the whole Cammy dying, a lot of people online says that they think Cammy is going to be a vampire or Cammy is going to come back to life somehow. To me, I think Cammy is just, for some reason, I think that Cammy is just dead. I don't think she's going to come back. I just can't see her having vampire blood inside of her, or, I mean, I'm pretty sure whoever killed her wanted to make sure she was dead. Now, it made it look like a war killed her because they showed her right after her saying that she had a good day. But to me, for some reason, I think it's Aurora, but I also think it could be somebody else. like Lucian, because Lucian wanted last episode. Lucian wanted Klaus desperately kill Cammy. Okay, just because she makes him weak. So I think that Lucian is the one who basically snuck up and killed Cammy. And then the next episode he's going to act all buddy towards him just to make sure he doesn't kill him. But on the other hand, it could be just the original thought that War was the one that killed her. War was the one that killed Cammy. But overall, I think this episode is one of the best episodes just because of all the action and all the things that happened. I didn't know who was going to die or what was going to what else was going to happen, and it opens up a lot of doors for like the next half. We have like a ticked off Klaus and Elijah, who on the next scene look like they're just going to be killing a bunch of people. I wonder what's going to stop them from killing just all three of the Tristan, Aurora, and Lucian. And then also Tristan is going to put Finn back in Vincent. So I guess they'll have like Vincent's going to come like the new big bad. He's going to have all the witch covens the power to go against the originals. So they're bringing back the witch part of the originals, just having them blown away every time they go near somebody. I don't really know why they're bringing back Finn. I hope they go in the flashback to why he hates their siblings so much. But it might be good. But at the same time, just like we just saw this last season. But overall, this was a good episode. I give it like, I don't know, I say 4 stars just because of everything that happened and all the dialogue, all the action. But that's about it for this review. Thank you again for watching.